News India 24/7. This is Rajiv Pathak, resident editor, joining with you from New Delhi, capital of India.
Hi. Hi.
First of all, I would like to know what is your exact location right now?
So I'm in Kiev
You're
right
in
now.
Kiev. Okay.
Yes.
Are you safe? Are your family safe?
My son is in the west of Ukraine, so I relocated him the very first day of war. So I haven't seen him for 5 days, but he is safe. My boyfriend is with the army, and my mom is on the west of Ukraine, and my dad is here in Kiev as well, and joining the territorial defense. So that's my family situation as it is. Do I feel safe? Well, we have air raid sirens going off and on all the time in the city. There have not been major explosions for the couple, was it 12 hours or so, but it is ongoing, and the streets are not safe to walk around because the Russians have sent the groups of the infiltrators into the cities, not just Kyiv, but other cities as well. Their job is just to arrange for some random bombings or just random shootings on the street. Like they would just start shooting on the car that is just driving by. There was this incident 2 days ago, I think, when they just shot a car with the family with 3 kids. One of the kids, a girl of 7 years, died, and 2 others are in critical condition in the hospital. So those groups of infiltrators are now being caught by the Ukrainian military, the National Guard, the police, and the territorial defense units in the city. So they are kind of making sure that the city is getting safer. But the territory around the city, like Kyiv Oblast, Kyiv region, is getting the major hit. So they were trying to enter on tanks from the north and northwest, and there were major battles taking place around 40 kilometers north and northwest of Kyiv in the past couple of days. So
as we are watching Ukraine-Russia war, every update we are trying to get to it. I believe it's more than 100 hours now after this Russia started the first bombing incident on Ukraine territory. How do you see it? I mean, the word power, every European Union country, may it be America or European country or India or any other Asian country, everybody is asking, every nation is asking Russia to stop this war. And still, it doesn't show any sort of effect on Mr. Putin. How do you see it?
I see it like this. We have to admit to all of ourselves that Putin has gone completely crazy. He is not able, and he's not willing to, and he's not going to listen to any rational arguments. This war is just making no sense whatsoever. Ukraine has never been a threat to Russia, yet he occupied part of our territory in 2014. He now claims that he did that because we wanted to join NATO, which is a lie, because in 2014 we were officially a non-allied state, a neutral state, without any voiced position that we want to join NATO. So the problem is not Ukraine wanted to join NATO. The problem is that he just hates the very fact that Ukraine does exist as an independent state. And that is what he said in his address 2 days prior to the war. So yes, indeed, right now, he is not listening to any voice. And I thank all the voices that are being voiced against this war, including the Indians' voice. I feel this support. I'm getting lots of messages. I'm not able to respond to all of that, but I'm feeling this support on all the sides. But we just have to admit that he is a madman. He is hysterical, and he is out of control. He is out of his mind, and he is a danger not just to Ukraine but to the whole world. So the only way to stop him is to make it unbearable, not for Putin, but to the whole of Russia. So the whole Russian people should see the consequences of this war. They are actually seeing it right now. They're seeing their economic collapse in hours. They're seeing they've been refused basic services that they get so used to, like Apple Pay or something like that. The majority of the companies are withdrawing from Russia. So I think that should lead to a major frustration in the Russian society, and that they should, impeach Putin. That is the only way that this can be done, because there is no other way to rationalize with him. He's not able to think rationally. What he is doing now by sending Russians to be killed here in Ukraine in thousands. There are thousands of Russian casualties as of now, and he doesn't care about that. He is bombing Ukrainian cities. He is bombing the civilians. I've just seen 2 videos right now, which are extremely difficult to watch, of my native city of Kharkiv being bombed, being shelled by Russians, and you see bodies lying on the ground with their legs and heads and hands torn out. And I've seen a video from Mariupol, which is a city to the south, which has been bombed from the warships. And I could see the video of a small child, which is the doctors are trying to rescue the child, but they fail, so the child dies in the arms of the doctors.
I would like to know, what is the situation of civilians there? As Russia said, they are not going to target any civilian, but we have seen videos that show the civilian buildings are being targeted by Russian missiles. We saw a video. A driver was passing through a road, and suddenly a Russian tank jumped onto it. I would say they destroyed the car. It was of no sense. I mean, are Russian people, I mean, I'm talking about the army, are they statically targeting Ukrainians, locals?
Thank you for this question, because indeed Putin is lying when he's saying that they're not targeting civilian targets. They have hit the orphanage in Kiev area. They have hit the kindergarten. They have hit the college. They have hit the hospital. As of yesterday evening, we had 16 children killed by Russians in Ukraine, and I think this number, unfortunately, would be bigger today after the shellings in Kharkiv and after the attack in Mariupol. Because, as I was just saying, I've just seen a video of a small child being killed by Russians, and the doctors were trying to save him or her. It's not clear, and failed because the woundings were so bad. So he's just lying. Just you can see it yourself. You can see the videos of people, of civilians being killed in all parts of the city, in all parts of the country. So he's just lying, and he is indeed killing the civilian population. As of yesterday, the recent estimate was about 300 civilians killed by Russians.
Oh.
So that's terrifying.
That's a huge number. 300 civilians being killed up till now.
Yes, and 16 children. Please remember about 16 children. As a mother, I can't even imagine the pain that the parents of those children are feeling. But I want the whole world to know that he is killing civilians. He is killing military men and women. He is shelling our cities, which, as a matter of fact, when you are shelling a city, you automatically are targeting civilians, because you just can't pretend that you are only targeting military targets when you're just covering the whole city. So he is a huge danger, and he's lying. They just assume that every time he opens his mouth, he's about to lie. You
posted one of your photograph with a automatic rifle, and you said that you are ready to fight for your country. You are ready to fight for honor. Is it? I mean, it's actually, the condition is so worse that a political leader would be required to fight for honor of the country.
Well, as of this time, what I am mainly doing is this: talking to the world and explaining what is happening in the world. I do have better skills in that than in shooting. And I hope that we shall be able to stop that, and we will, that Ukrainian army will fight, and that the international
community. But this message is very strong in word
community. Yeah, I know, but
every
like
Ukrainian is ready to fight for honor. This message has gone viral actually. 1.3 billion Indians have seen videos of Ukrainian people involving themselves into war. They have entered in the war situation. They have entered in the war zone, and they are trying to fight for honor of their country. So that image of yours with that automatic gun is viral now.
Thank you. There are many people, many MPs who are joining the fight right now. I have several friends among MPs who are directly on the front line of fire right now. They are mainly those who did have some military experience. We do have some people who didn't have military experience, but they joined the territorial defense, and they're patrolling the streets, like members of parliament in Kiev and in other cities, are patrolling the streets at night, at day, together with regular Ukrainians, with the people who voted or didn't vote for us. It doesn't matter anymore. Regular MPs are joining those patrols and patrolling the city, finding those infiltrators around the city. So some members of parliament who are not, who don't do that, they are organizing some humanitarian aid and humanitarian support. So no one is just sitting tight on in their offices quietly and not doing anything. I think we're talking for 15 minutes now, and my chats on WhatsApp and on Telegram and whatever else where we communicate, and it's just I'm getting more and more messages all the time, like, okay, we're doing this, we're doing that, like who has the car, who has the contacts of this doctor, who has we have a car coming up from this direction and we need a driver, and and everyone is involved. Like no one is sitting still. We do sleep very little. Like I don't think I slept more than 4 hours in the last 5 days. So everyone is just getting involved every way possible. No one is just pretending that it's not our war or that it's a war that can be only fought by the Ukrainian army.
Today we were expecting some sort of relief after these during this Belarus talks. We are not seeing any sort of closure to this war. I believe the Belarus talks have failed. How do you see that?
Well, we are still to get the information, but I was giving some interviews in the morning, and people were asking me about that, and I was not very optimistic because the situation is like this: Putin wants us dead, and we want to leave. There is very little middle ground between those two positions, and it's extremely complicated because someone might claim, and I heard those arguments, like, you just should say that you will not join NATO and then everything will be fine. But it won't, because Putin clearly said that he believes that the very fact that Ukraine left the Soviet Union in 1991 was a mistake, and he wants to correct that. He doesn't want us just out of NATO. He actually wants us as part of Russia. And that is his crazy man mind. He just made up this idea, and that is the only, potential. That is his dream. That is why he started this atrocious war. So I'm not extremely optimistic about this talks. I believe there can be more progress if the sanctions from the world proceed. If a full trade embargo would make war just economically non-sustainable to Putin, and that is what we're asking from the international community. Please look at the videos, at the pictures of the Ukrainian children killed. With every single dollar that you send to Russia for oil or gas, you are just providing weapons to Russians to kill more Ukrainian children. So full trade embargo and establishing no-fly zone over Ukraine, that would really save hundreds of lives here in Ukraine.
Putin recently has given a sort of warning that they are ready with any sort of nuclear interference as well. I mean, I'm not trying to say a nuclear warhead, and because that, even if you imagine that sounds really pathetic and very bad. I mean, I being an Indian, I don't think we can even say that. Can we see a nuclear war coming up? How do you see that? I mean, that's a major threat to people of Ukraine.
It is, but not just to the people of Ukraine. It is actually a threat to the whole world, and that is the message that everyone should realize. That if Putin starts threatening with nuclear war, that will it will not be limited to the Ukrainian border. and millions will suffer, millions will die in case he actually decides to do so. That is why he needs to be stopped right now. And the major factor in that is the will of the Russian people. They need to see the consequences. They need to say that they are done with him, that he should be out of the Kremlin and he should not rule. He has no moral authority and no moral right to rule the country anymore. So this, I understand, like even saying these words is scary, is terrifying, and they should
Yes,
never be
it's
pronounced.
terrifying. It's even to imagine. It's very tough for us to even. I am trembling of pain of thoughts that if something like that happens, God forbid.
Yeah, I know. I know it is terrifying indeed. So we can only hope that there is still someone sane and rational inside Putin's circle who will prevent that from happening, from the worst to happen. This is a very slim chance, and because he clearly has been, making sure that everyone around him are just yes men who are just saying whatever he wants to hear. But this is a threat, and this is why we are always saying that we now are not only fighting Putin for ourselves, we are actually fighting for the whole world right now.
That's why we can see that every country from Australia to India to America to European countries, everybody is supporting Ukraine. Despite that, Russia is one of the biggest country, one of the biggest warhead country. Even then, the world is actually supporting Ukraine, Ukrainian Prime Minister, Ukrainian people. As being an Indian, we have around 18 to 19,000 Indian citizens right now in Ukraine. They are stuck there, and some around 1,500 people have returned to India, and they said that Ukraine had been a second home to them. They felt like home there. There was no sort of problem there, and they were majority of them were students. They were studying there in Ukraine, and they found that place to be very calm, very soothing, and very supportive. How do you see that? I mean, after this war ends, we pray to God that this war ends sooner, that people are the thing it may. How do you see that this educational business, this industry of Ukraine is going to suffer, like in coming year or two?
So before I answer that, I have to say this. I did serve as the first Deputy Minister of Education and Science of Ukraine in 2014-2016, and I was actually responsible for higher education for 2.5 years in the country. So I know the context very well. I know that Indian students are a huge benefit to the Ukrainian institutions. Those are mainly medical students. And I was talking to many professors in the medical universities where they were studying, and they were always saying, and I'm saying it with my whole heart, that the Indian students are the best one from the world that we're getting. They're very disciplined. They are very polite. They're always doing their homework and so on and so forth. So we were extremely happy to have them here. We were extremely not always perfect. I understand that probably Oxford or Harvard does have better schools, but we were doing our best to provide good education to the Indians as well as to other people from all over the world coming to Ukraine. But actually, lots of a big portion of foreign students here in Ukraine are Indians, and we are so sorry that this you were dragged into this. That those 25, I believe, thousand Indian students have got caught in the middle of this. I know that the Ministry of Education and Science and the special department dealing with the international students is trying to take care of the situation. If it does not always work, we are sorry about that. Trust me, it's not because for the lack of trying, just because we are all caught up in this horrible situation where people don't feel safe, and we are trying to provide food for people. We're trying to provide treatment for the wounded and bury our dead. So this is. Don't take it as Ukraine not trying to be nice and welcoming to the Indian students.
We totally understand that, and
yes, this
some students who have returned, they said that people of Ukraine are still very supportive. They are into a war situation. Even then, they were trying to help them. So just I'm an Indian journalist, but still I am an Indian first. So I would like to thank you, thank Ukrainian people that they are into a mess, but still they were trying to help the Indian students, and that's the that's most I can do right now from India. But I'm really thankful to Ukrainian people to taking care of our Indian students.
Yes, thank you. We do hope that this war ends soon and they will be able to return and get the education and the profession that they were aspiring for. We really hope that for both Indian students and Ukrainians as well, of course.
Thank you, Ina. You gave us time, and I hope that this war ends soon, and your family, your citizens stay safe. War doesn't give anything to any country. It's business. It's economic growth that is required today in this modern world. I don't think there is any place for war in any country. Uh, we hope that this ends soon, and I can say till then, best of luck and be safe.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. We hope this ends soon and we'll be in touch. Thank you.